Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Jarvis, for being here. You know, as I said in my early comments, I do have two national parks. They really do commemorate, one commemorates the American Revolution, the other commemorates the Industrial Revolution. These communities are the communities that host these national parks take such pride in all the great work you do and the tremendous leadership you've brought, the high standards you create, and we as an American people, I think, are proud of those standards and hate to see anything happen that undermines them, as the sequester is certainly doing and is shutting down the government is doing. But I want to address first the whole issue of our veterans' access to the World War II Memorial. My father was a survivor of Pearl Harbor. He went on to serve across the South Pacific. He is no longer living, but I can't imagine that he would not be so dismayed by the circus that's been created around the access issue to the memorial. And I happened to be in the airport when an honor flight group was coming from Arkansas. It was a very celebratory moment. These were older men who are so proud of their service to this country. And it was a touching thing to be near them. I just want to reference that Politico Today reports that despite my Republican colleague attempts to turn the World War II Memorial into the government shutdown's poster child, quote, veterans streaming into Washington to see the monument don't really face any obstacles in their visits, and many complain that they are being used for political gain, unquote. Jim McLaughlin, a lead organizer for the Honor Flight Network, told Political, quote, we have had no problems at all, end quote. He said the Park Service has been, quote, very cooperative and very polite, unquote, in allowing veterans groups to visit under the auspices that they're conducting, quote, First Amendment activities, unquote. Director Jarvis, veterans have been able to visit the World War II Memorial, haven't they?
Yes, ma'am, they have.
Thank you. I'd also like to go back to the issue, and I thank you, Ms. Simon, for your testimony. Are we really surprised that the government shutdown would have an impact on our gateway communities, on our tourism industry? It isn't just something one could have foreseen?
I don't think the fact that there was an impact was a surprise. No, I think everyone anticipated it. It was really not knowing what to expect come the first day of the shutdown.
And that is why it is such a dismaying activity, given that it could have been avoided. A bill could have been brought to the floor that would have Democratic support, the Senate bill that was passed by the Senate on a bipartisan basis, brought to the floor of the House of Representatives, supported by Democrats, supported by Republicans, and would have avoided this altogether. The national parks are where a lot of the discussion is going because they're very visible to the American people, and it's happening at a moment in time when visitation has historically been very high. But I don't think we can overlook all the other people and all the other institutions that have been so impacted. Last week, I had a heart-wrenching conversation with a nurse at a military installation in my district who is furloughed because of the Republican shutdown. As a federal contract employee, she is terrified that she won't be able to recover her lost pay, putting her family at financial risk. Quote, we are the ones suffering, unquote, she told me. Quote, we are hardworking Americans working paycheck to paycheck. Something like this can destroy us, unquote. We have to remember the service members who have returned from combat duty who may lose their college tuition assistance that they've been promised. Clinical trials for cancer patients have been delayed, and veterans are being told that they will have to wait even longer to have their benefit claims reviewed. And yes, it is so unfortunate that our national parks, some of our nation's most treasured sites, are closed to the public. But that is what happens when the federal government shuts down. We need to end this and end it today. Thank you, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentlelady yields back.